So guys, just want to start off by saying thanks to all you guys, and if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate all the comments. I like answering them, and hit me up on Instagram, egchris92. So anyways, today we're going to put my throttle body back on, and I got a new radiator, so I'll show you what I got there, and hopefully get the throttle body fixed, because off the car it closes perfectly, opens perfectly, but last time it was sticking, so I don't know if it was because of the cable or the bracket or what the situation was. And as far as the radiator goes, the cap was no good, but I decided to just ditch this eBay radiator. Not that I had any issues with it, but I want to put something in that might be just as good and looks just as good. So let's get that started. All right, so I took off the idle air control valve off camera, and I was at work doing it. But basically what you want to do is use a screwdriver hammer type thing. It's like you hit it, and as you hit it, it turns the nut of the screw. And I did that. That's because these were like super corroded. The intake manifold in the throttle body came from New York, and New York's known for corrosion and whatnot. So yeah, you're gonna want to use those unless you're super confident that there's no rust. You could go use a normal screwdriver, but you might end up stripping it. But luckily I was able to get it. So yeah, so I got a new throttle body gasket. There it is. There's a part number, and probably recommend you guys changing these every time the throttle body comes off. Well, you know what, not every time, but if you're messing around with it, I recommend it. Like for me, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I put it in a vise when I was doing the idle air control valve, when I was taking it off, and I kind of messed up the gasket, so it's not worth running into an issue. And then when you put this plate on, I'm about to show you, you're going to want to change the idle air control valve gasket, just a rubber gasket. There's a part number. And last but not least, in order to do this, you need the block off plate. So this came from a company called Street Rays, and this is what they use for a part number. Basically just completely eliminates the idle air control valve. And I didn't mention this, but you can only get away with this if you have K-Pro, because you'll be able to delete the idle air control valve and you won't get a code, and the car kind of has a better idea what to do, even without it. So I got the gasket on, the plate goes on like that. Then there's a lock washer, and that'll go over there. It's an Allen key type bolt or screw. And then same thing on the other side. It's too easy. You really can't mess this up. Alright, so I'm gonna tighten this up, throw it on the car. Alright, so to help you out, you put the one bolt through with the gasket. That way you're not trying to fight lining up the gasket. So alright, so you see how this is bent? That was because the way the setup used to be with the fuel regulator, when I put the RBC on, nothing lined up right. So I kind of had one bolt in here, and I cocked the bracket, and then I did that so the cable wouldn't fall out. So now I'm going to attempt to bend it out. It's kind of working. I'm going to bend that out, see if I can fit this over. Looks like I need to bend it out a little bit more. Well, I'll tell you what, that took forever only for it to not properly work. So as you can see, I have a different bracket. It's the same as the other one, but the other one, has been modified, so I didn't like it. So it's on, what is it? It's where it's supposed to be, but it's shifted to the right. And a lot of people say when you do the K-swap, you got to use the cruise control wheel, which is the plastic one. And for the life of me, I could not get it to open and close. I couldn't get it to close properly and do wide open throttle, or vice versa.
So I just used the correct wheel, I shifted the bracket, and now it works perfectly. And I'll tell you what, that took forever to make it work. So I think I'm just gonna keep it like this. I think the bracket that comes with, I don't know, I think the bracket that K-Tune sells isn't gonna work. I don't want to buy it and find out it doesn't work. So I might just use this setup for the time being until I can figure out what I decide to do. Chances are I'll just paint this and leave it, you know, just so I don't have to worry about it. So now what I gotta do is drain the radiator. I'm gonna unbox that for you while it's draining and do some comparisons as far as size, width, and all that. That way you know, is the dimensions the same as an eBay one, as a koyo one? And you know, once we get it all together, we'll know if it cools any better or not. Let's do it. Alright, so I got the ground wires disconnected. The power wire came out of where it's supposed to be, so I'm gonna have to fix that. It's pretty much drained. I got the top hose and the lower hose and the bracket, and that's it. I'll I don't know, time lapse it, I guess. Alright, so let me get it out of the bag. Wow, and this thing is good looking. We got the koyo rad there in front. I think it came with a sticker. I like stickers. Cool. Alright, so let's do a little bit side by side and then some measurements. Alright, so here we got the brand new koyo rad, and like immediately you could tell that, you know, the finish and the welds, they look good. You know, they're all flush. You know, they all look good, nothing goopy. And over here on the eBay one, you kind of get imperfections like this. Some goop over here and over there. The top of it has a nice polished aluminum type finish. It could probably be polished out even more, you know, get some more shine out of it. The eBay one, I think it was just painted, to be honest. I don't think it's polished, but it's stained from the coolant and it kind of looks like crap, but you know, it did its job. I'm not gonna say that this eBay radiator was bad, because it wasn't, but I just wanted to go with something maybe of better quality, some, you know, a better finish, something that I have peace of mind with. That's why I went with the koyo rad. There's several other ones, Mishimoto, Skunk 2. I talked about those, and I felt like that those looked like this. This was a total, you know, difference that I know, hey, you know what, koyo rad made their own stuff. It wasn't like outsourced to maybe whoever made this. So that's why I went with koyo rad. So now I'm gonna do some measurements just so you guys know how tall, how wide, you know, the difference in that and this. So I'm gonna do that right now. All right, so I'm just gonna start with the basics. I'm gonna start with the width. So from, I guess, where the fins start to where they end, about 13.5 inches. And then eBay rad, it's about the same. A little bit shorter, a little bit longer actually, or wider. Height, say from fin to fin again, a little bit more than 13.5. And the eBay style, well, about the same, 13.5. So they're almost the same height and width, but I think what matters most is side to side. So we'll do from here to there. It's a little less than 2 inches for the koyo. And the eBay, it's about 1.5 inches. So we're getting a little bit more width, so that hopefully equals more volume. So that'll hopefully, you know, I'm only guessing, lead to a cooler radiator. So, you know, once I get this in, I'm gonna data log. I'm gonna see where our temps were. With this, we saw as high as, I don't know, 204, 205, I think, and cruising 184, which is normal. you know, at a stop, you know, that's where we'd see those 200s, high 190s. So hopefully with this, you know, we'll get more consistency. I'm hoping, you know, for of course a lower temperature. 180s is perfect. Even at a stop, you know, 190s, 200 is not, it's normal, so it's not anything to worry about, but we're looking for efficiency. I do have the eBay fan still, and it's okay, it works good, but I think I would like to upgrade it at a later point. But being that I don't have something to put on, I'm going to use that for now. All right, so it seems like it worked. I'm not gonna like yank on this, but kind of just moving it back and forth. It's not budging. I just left a little slack out there, just, you know, in case it does back off, it doesn't just completely fall off right away. That won't be an issue. So I think at this point it's pretty much ready to get dropped in. All right, so since we messed with the throttle body, we're gonna reset our TPS min and max. I know that doesn't look the best, but it's in throttle and K-Pro. So you wanna set it, you know, fully closed, hit read. All right, then you wanna do wide open throttle, and then read. I'm gonna be reusing the coolant I had. I put it in this that I cleaned, so start filling her up. Well, to no surprise, I have a vacuum leak, so I'm gonna have to take off the throttle body again, check it out, maybe let this bleed. I don't know, but that's kind of annoying, but it's not a big deal because we already got it already figured out. Alright, so I rushed, I guess, and I crushed the bottom of the throttle body gasket. So I put the old one in, the one I said not to use. So take my advice, take your time. I put a bolt in both sides and both corners. That way the gasket would lay flush. So I'm going to start it up again, make sure that I have no issues. This is kind of a stupid mistake, but learn from my mistakes and don't do that. Finally, I got it running. So basically, I had too much or not enough fuel pressure. My idle air control valve was gone, so the throttle plate was completely closed, so it wouldn't allow me to get any air in the engine without having the throttle a little bit open. So now I'm gonna top off the fluid. I'm gonna adjust this to 55 PSI, and I'm gonna just let it run and burp. So I got it running now. We're bleeding it. There's bubbles coming out, as you can see. Keeping my eye on the temps. We need that lower hose to open up. The thermostat needs to open. We're still waiting on that. I just checked it. It wasn't hot, so just make sure this thing doesn't get too hot. It's kind of climbing up there, but we need to get the air out. Alright, so it's been like 2 weeks since I touched the EG. I did the whole rad install, and I wanted to order a bracket before I actually took it out. As you know, I've been messing around with the coupe that I plan on K-swapping. Kind of happened in like the middle of making this video, so it might seem odd that I'm out of place, but you'll know as you're watching this video. So I'm gonna open this box and show you what I got. Alright, so I got this bracket from K-Motor. They're like a eBay type company, and it looks like the bracket, if it fits, because I don't know if it's going to clear the hood, should go like this. I'm going to need to see if I can find a rubber isolator piece. I think the other one had it, so I'm going to get that and see if it fits. The car's idling right now, just so I get it up to temp so I can test drive. Alright, so it's on. It doesn't look too bad. I wish it didn't say K-Motor or K-Series on it. Kind of wish it was just a bracket, but
going to attempt to close it. I hope it closes. If it doesn't, I'll be upset. Of course, it doesn't close. Yeah. Well, I'll figure that out. Alright, I got it to close with some persuasion. It's not closed all the way. This hood is already messed up because of the way the old fuel regulator sat. It hit the hood, so this hood needs to be replaced sooner or later. But it closed. So now we can finally test drive this thing. I haven't driven it since I did everything, all fuel setup. But I'm focused more on the temps. Alright, so it's been sitting for quite a while. It's at 192. The fan is on. So, you know, that's about normal. That's kind of what we were seeing before. So, I mean, we're not seeing much of a difference right now, but at least we're not seeing 200s. So let's drive it and see what it looks like after. I'll tell you what, this is the first time driving it, and after adjusting everything, especially at the throttle cable, the throttle response is insane. It's like, it's kind of hard for me to get used to. I barely took it up. So I'm getting used to how jumpy it is. Like I hit the gas and it just goes. Temps 192 driving. It's a 90-degree day out, so you know, I guess that's to be expected. I'm just gonna cruise, make sure it doesn't get too hot, make sure there's no leaks, and I guess call it a day. But I'm gonna cruise the car a little bit, see how it feels. Keep my eye on that temp, see how it looks. And then I'll keep you guys posted. So I'm cruising. Look at these temps. 181. I have not seen that temp ever. And all I literally did was change the radiator. Same fan, same type of coolant. And we're getting 181 degrees. So just that alone shows me that this radiator is flowing more efficient just based on the temp. I'm gonna drive it some more, but yeah, I'm already pretty happy because one of the goals was to get the temps down a little bit. You know, even though they weren't ever an issue, just getting them down is peace of mind, especially like today it's 90 degrees and we're getting those temps. We weren't getting those temps on 60, 70 degree days, even cooler than that. So that's one thing that we're seeing from this Koyo radiator is more efficient cooling. So I just got back from driving and it doesn't look like my let's see, it doesn't look like this got overfilled. Like
it was before. Nope, didn't even go nowhere. Temps were good, no leaks, which is always good. And the car just felt good, drove good. I'm real happy with how everything turned out. I think it looks super clean. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much at a point where I don't need to touch it so much. I have one more part that's in the box over there, and that's it. That'll be it for this car for a while. You know, I want to try to focus my attention and my money and whatnot towards this and turning into a budget boosted K, and this just being a real clean swap, all motor, and you know, just something to play around with, which, you know, it's fun, it handles good, I love it. So yeah, that's it for the radiator install. Yeah, it was fun. I had some problems along the way with the throttle body, but those were all simple stuff. Drove it and I saw a difference. Showed you guys, you know, the temps I was looking at, and those look really good. You know, it's a 90-degree day today, so it's the best temperature to probably test it at. So, like I said, it's probably going to be almost it for this car as far as, you know, modifications or anything real big. So I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and I hope you look forward to the next build, because, you know, I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of new things to learn. And, you know, the fact that I'm going boost, I haven't had a turbo car in a couple years, so that'll be really cool. So hope you guys liked it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check it out on Instagram, egchris92. Until later. Until later. Yeah, that was the worst closure ever. Later.